Why do you think that this ordinance isn't in basically every municipality or even as a statewide thing already? Because this seems like a common sense kind of thing.
Well, maybe that's it, because it is a common sense kind of thing.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We've got Brother Bill Blackman on the line. Bill is the business agent of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 136, and they are putting in the work down in Birmingham. So, Bill, thanks for speaking to us today. I appreciate it.
Hey, glad to be on. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I saw in Jonah Furman's newsletter, Who Gets the Bird, that the IBEW they are organizing some folks at an electrical co-op in Marshall County. It's local 443, so I don't know how, but were you aware of that?
Absolutely, I am. It is 443 handles the outside jurisdiction for this part of the state, and that's why they're the ones organizing this group.
Awesome. Yeah, well,
have filtered through me and Tony Quillen and all to get to the right people, but they're there now and ready to go.
That's fantastic. That is really great. I saw that in the newsletter this week, and I was like, oh, hey, I love to see Alabama in the newsletter. That's awesome. So, first, we're going to talk about your apprenticeship program and a responsible bidder ordinance that y'all are pushing through. And let's figure out what's going on with the responsible bidder ordinance first. I was trying to do some research, some prep yesterday for figuring out what's going on, what the state of it was. And basically the only thing that I could find, I couldn't find any local news articles about it. The only thing that I could find was your interview on America's Workforce radio podcast with Ed Flash Ferentz back in September. And that's a union talk radio program in Ohio. Has local media spoken to you about this at all, and it's just not showing up? Or do they not, is there nobody really covering this?
There's really nobody covering it. Welcome to the...
Yeah.
It's a case of we're trying to push something positive here. The responsible bidder ordinance, basically what it would say is that any of the city of Birmingham's tax dollars that were spent on capital projects, construction projects, would have to... Those contractors and subcontractors would have to participate in a Department of Labor accredited apprenticeship. For years, we've heard these commercials about losing the craftsmen. We've seen the dirty jobs programs and the Go Build Alabama commercials, all that, but nothing that funnels you into a Department of Labor accredited apprenticeship. You wind up learning tasks and not learning to be a craftsman when you're not in a full-fledged indentured apprenticeship. So the idea here is to create opportunities to learn a craft because it takes on-the-job training. It takes those things. When the city of Birmingham invests, they should be investing into their citizens as well to create these craftsmen.
Right.
And that's the premise that I'm selling it on to the city council. And I've gotten some great assistance from Mayor Woodfin. I've gotten some great assistance from Earl Hilliard, who is Mayor Woodfin's chief of governmental affairs. And it's progressing.
That is, one of the most common sense things to me is when we're talking about spending tax dollars on projects, there should be strings attached. And some of the most common sense strings should be good wages, good benefits, and proper training. And this goes to that latter part of it, the learning a trade through a Department of Labor accredited apprenticeship program. Talk to us about the difference between a DOL accredited apprenticeship and a non-DOL accredited apprenticeship.
Well, the DOL has been in place for a long time, and And not to cut the state of Alabama short in any means here either. They have developed the Alabama Office of Apprenticeship, AOA, that is actually becoming our go-between between us and the Federal Department of Labor, and has been great to work with so far, and look forward to a long relationship with them as well. But it sets standards in place that gives you a well-balanced, well-rounded training in a particular craft and in industry that rather than some of these others that may just train you for a task. You know, you spend your career and learn nothing but how to pull a wire.
Right.
And not what to do with that wire when you get it there, or how to hook it up, or the principle behind how to make this conveyor belt run, how to make it turn off at the right time, that sort of thing.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that this ordinance isn't in basically every municipality or even as a statewide thing already? Because this seems like a common sense kind of thing.
Well, maybe that's it, because it is a common sense kind of thing. In all honesty, I mean, the state of Alabama is, well, we're such a red state, we call our team the Crimson Tide. We are business friendly. We are right to work for less. State that has always thought the way to attract business is to kiss their tail. And so maybe that's why, because the contractors, the union contractors, in my case, NECA, National Electrical Contractors Association, they have chosen to be union. They have chosen this path. They invest in this apprenticeship so that these apprenticeships do not cost tuition. They do not cost the kids anything but their time and their to learn. They buy books, but they'll have those books to refer to throughout their career.
Right.
Other than that, it doesn't cost them anything because the employers see the value and they invest back into it. It's based on a per man hour work contribution. So the more we work, the more we can afford to train people. The better we can afford to train people.
Right.
And so with the city of Birmingham, what we're telling them is we've got probably fluctuating somewhere around 100 applicants at any one time with the zip codes in the city of Birmingham that we don't have a place to put to work. But you still see these crane towers popping up all over downtown Birmingham. We're not requiring, and not just the electrical crafts, but all crafts.
Right.
I just happen to be the squeaky wheel that's making the noise right now.
Right. Well, speaking of making the noise, I mentioned that that interview that you did with Flash was back in September, and you mentioned that it hasn't passed yet. When do you think that y'all are going to be able to get that passed?
There's a diversity study that's going on right now that probably will, when it comes out in the next few weeks, will tie this Responsible Bidder Ordinance to and push it on through. So I expect it sometime very soon. I was hoping to have it by now, but anytime you're lobbying for something, as long as you're continuing that forward momentum, then we're in good shape.
Support for this program comes from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 136 out of Central Alabama. Learn more at IBEW136.org.